The table of trade indicators is relatively long, but quite simple when you look at it. You should approach these tables as you do with books in English, and read first the title, then the text or content, from left to right, from top to bottom. In this case, the title of the table is List of Importers for the selected product in 2018, and the product being in this case, coffee excluding roasted and decaffeinated. What we are looking at first is the world market demand for this product. We can see it in the first line of the table that identifies indicators for the world as a whole. The very first column identifies the availability of information at a more detailed level of coding. Since we are currently looking at the product level HS6 data, the heading reads HS8, which refers to the national tariff lines of this country. When we are looking at subchapter data, HS4, the heading reads HS6, and if we are looking at the chapter level, the HS2 level, the heading of this column states HS4. Wherever there is a button with a plus sign, there is data available at a more detailed level for the selected product and the corresponding country. We can see it by clicking on any one of these buttons. Now let's go back to the table at the HS6 level. We see that the next column contains the list of countries that import coffee, excluding roasted and decaffeinated. This list is sorted according to the third column, the value of imports in the most recent year. Because it determines the order of the table, the heading of that column is yellow instead of white. The data in this table is presented in a simple structure consisting of 4 main groups. The first 5 columns under Trade Indicators include information about demand for the product during the last available year. This group is made up of the following. First, the imported value during the last year in thousands of US dollars. This is the market size in dollar terms. Please note that the value data in TradeMap is normally presented in thousands, such that reading 19,592,574 means the total imported value for the world in 2018 is 19,592,574,000 US dollars. But be careful. The quantity data, and therefore also unit values, are usually not reported in thousands, but in ordinary absolute terms. Second, we see the trade balance for the country in the last year. The trade balance is calculated as exports minus imports. Hence, a positive value means exports are larger than imports, whereas a negative value means imports exceed exports. Negative values are colored red, while positive values are black. The other possible colors that can be seen throughout the tables, purple, yellow, green, and light green, also have specific meanings. For example, yellow means we are looking at mirror data. The corresponding explanations can be found by scrolling to the bottom of the table. In this case, we do not see yellow numbers in this table. But when you see it, please note that the numbers are mirror data. The third column has the quantity imported during the last year, which shows the size of the market in terms of physical volume. The fourth column presents the quantity units that the product is reported in. It is worthwhile noting that units vary significantly across different products and countries. Many products are measured in metric tons. Liquid products tend to be measured in liters, and some products can be expressed as units, e.g. spectacle lenses and so on. The final indicator in this section is the unit value, which is the result of dividing the imported value by the imported quantity. Thus, this is not a price, but an average across the whole period covered. and might hide large fluctuations throughout the year. For example, with coffee, one can easily imagine that price of the product will vary depending on the growing season. Furthermore, even at a detailed level of description, such as the 6-digit codes in the harmonized system or the more detailed national tariff line position, the codes group together different products. For example, in the case of coffee under HS code 090111, it might include 60 kilogram bag of coffee for processing use in the food industry, or 2 kilogram packages for retail sale. It might also include different type of coffee beans like Arabica, Robusta, and many others that present variation in price. Again, the unit value is an average value of each imported unit, in this case per ton, across time and product specifications. One could also say that it is the time and product average of the prices paid by importing companies. But it should not be confused with specific product or consumer prices that additionally include, among others, the import tariff where applicable, the value added in the importing country, and relevant taxes such as VAT. All of these are not being included in the unit value. Nevertheless, the unit value might be correlated with the consumer price of the product, so it can be a useful indicator, particularly when looking at its movements over time. When interpreting the unit value, one should be aware that a relatively high unit value can be caused by different things. It could be high due to a small packaging size, to expensive high-quality ingredients, to a highly branded product, or to off-season imports. But moreover, it can also be relatively high due to strong demand relative to supply availability. Thus, the unit value indicator needs to be analyzed carefully. To summarize, the described group of indicators allows you to identify the current situation of the market for your product. Specifically, you can identify the size of the global market both in terms of value and quantity, the size of different import markets, and whether they are net importers or they also export significant amounts of the same product. You can also see whether a specific importing country appears to import at a unit value that is more or less than the world average for the product cluster under analysis. The indicators show the situation of the market in the most recent year, but TradeMap also has indicators that provide a dynamic view of the trade performance over time. We will see how to use these indicators in another video.